Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Grandia 2. Last time... Shut up, Caro. We explored through most of this dungeon, got all the way to this point, and that opened up the path, which allowed us to go back to the start and said save point. This time, I am feeling quite a bit better, and hopefully my voice is a little bit better too, so... Hopefully I'm getting over this little illness that I've been getting, so we can have more videos. That would be a lot easier. Well, it wouldn't be easier on me, but I'd rather have that than be sick. So this is the door we also opened last time. This is our way forward. There's another hole in the wall, but I don't think there's a Caro over here. I think if you carry Caro with you, this is where he will disappear and he'll run in there, because this is the end of the area. Kinda, sorta. It also looks like a dead end, except for you have to approach the wall. And now we can push the... What is this, Adam's family? We have a secret door that goes into the castle that you cannot tell is a wall or a fake wall from inside the castle. The other strange thing about this, I will go into... Well, yeah, I'll go into it shortly. We'll go watch the scene first. If I had remembered that that save point was there, we would have come here at the end of the last episode, but I didn't, so oops. His name is not Memory, it's Menery. It's kind of an odd name for, well, anyone, really. And he doesn't look entirely evil, does he? Evil-looking, kind of almost grimace, dark and pale skin at the same time. The evil-looking mustache, the cloak, the red eyes. Not evil at all. And he feels strong power behind the gate of darkness. And he looks evil and he guards the gate of darkness. Somehow this is not, it's giving me pause, that's for sure. Considering I can't think of the proper word for it, but anyway, he is the demon sealer apparently. The role of his people, so I guess another race, kind of like the Mao tribe that we met before. What is the door? It's a door with painting on it. I don't really know how to explain that. Yeah, I got nothing. It will open when the people of darkness have regained their pride. Well, we should probably keep that closed. Probably. But that is not all. Well, that doesn't seem like the best solution. Do you have some other thing in line, or it's going to open? That works too. You have the key, huh? They just let, 10-year-old princes walk around with the key in this country. The medal, the one that he lost when we first met Roan. This would explain, in addition to what they explained at the time, why he really needed to go back and get that. I thought it was a necklace to go with your tiara, or Shifty Eyes, back when we first helped you, of course. Yeah, everyone's gonna buy that, right? I'm not still being a dick, am I? Yeah, we saw that it was real before, but I guess the evil is real. That's what you're referring to here? So they do keep that in there. It was still a memento of his mother. I'm glad they decided to keep that in and not say that it was just completely, just a cover story. It's nice that it has both aspects. And of course, it's passed down from, through the family, the royal family here. Only two things you can really do to a gate. Open it or close it. That's pretty blunt, but true. Now, just because I'm getting over my illness, my voice sounds a little bit better. If I ever have a pause for a moment where I don't say anything, other than me trying to figure out what the hell to say next, it's likely that I'm editing out a very hoarse-sounding cough, so I apologize in advance. Okay. What is with that music? That does not fit the situation here. Well, let's show something off here. This is the... Yeah, this is the audience square. This is what I thought it was. Okay. So, when we came here, we went through the secret passage in order to get into the castle so we wouldn't be spotted. Which was right here. And all we had to do was walk this way. Talk about a dungeon for no reason. Like, literally, this is it. There are no guards here. There is no reason why we shouldn't have just been able to walk right in. You can't move the camera in here, which is annoying. There's like 3 people to talk to. Yeah. And here, she can show us you around the castle, but basically she just takes a deep breath and then explains where you have to walk. So it's not really all that interesting, so I'm not going to bother. But there are like 4 different options, and each of your characters say, I can't believe she said that in one breath, and that's pretty much the whole joke. So I'm going to talk to this guy, because he's actually somewhat interesting. He was on break. I like on break. Like Scruffy from Futurama. It's my hero. He's always on break. What? Do you always barge into other people's room? It's the prince and his party. Oh, crap. Boss found out you're taking a break. If you continue to talk to him, though, that's when you get some interesting lines of dialogue. After you rest, however, I'd like you to get back to work. Don't be so easy on them. If you don't discipline them, they will take advantage of you later. We must get going now. So, are you ready to resume your post? Soon as I've gathered my gear. I think it's rather interesting, the 2 different dynamics between the young and innocent and the demoness. Okay, I guess I'll talk to the other guy briefly too, just because it does have some bearing on the plot, so we might as well. Was thinking it didn't for a second. I thought it was the other guy. Anyway, yeah, so also want to thank you on behalf of the late Queen. Yeah, he pretty much seems to be able to do that, especially now that I've given him lots of DPS. Has he changed? But after you left, he started brooding every day. Not really. Hard to get close to him in such a dark mood. Yeah. Let's go talk to the king now. He is through this way. This is the throne room. Of course, he's not in the throne room. He just says, welcome back. He's actually in his office. The king has an office. I guess it's like the office in the Parliament building or the Oval Office or whatever. So I guess it makes sense. Or the White House or wherever the bloody hell the leaders have their things. I don't know. Politics is confusing and I don't care. I just don't. Anyway, will you open it? Yes. Wait a minute. No, the answer is no. You do not want to open the Gate of Darkness. So, in order, like what they said before, is that it will open when the people of darkness regain their pride. But he's going about it in exactly the opposite way, opening it to regain his pride. It's kind of an odd thing. Yeah, I don't think we want the Day of Darkness, whether you worship Valmar or not. We do not have to be the people of darkness. The messenger? Is that one guy we saw in a black silhouette before? Not time for words, but for actions. I will never hand over the key, my medal. I guess they'll say that in case you forgot, even though they just said it, but okay, sure. No matter, your medal is no longer needed. How does that work? I thought you need it. They never actually explain this, by the way. They never explain how they plan on opening it without the medal. So, I don't know. Whatever. Well, that didn't go exactly as planned. I don't know why they seem confused by this at this point. I'm pretty sure they've explained this. If not, and then I kind of spoiled it like, I don't know, 30 seconds ago. And they're going to tell us right away anyway, so it's not like I've really ruined all that much, but it's pretty obvious. This is the coat of arms. That music tells me that it's Valmar's crest. Yeah. I thought that was kind of obvious by what we read in the books at the Papal State, but oh well. No one worships Valmar now. It's an old scar from the distant past, long ago. The messenger must have been Valmar, which would make sense, and I have a feeling that that wasn't just an earthquake. There is trouble afoot! The gate is opened? We need to go downstairs. Now... you can try and go in his office, but it's locked, so... Or I guess his deeper office, or maybe it's his bedroom, I don't know. Nobody else says anything particularly interesting. That's that guy we spoke to before. He was around the backside at the secret entrance, and apparently the boat's still there, but something happened in the demon sealing room, which we kind of figured. But at least it tells us where we're supposed to go, which of course is down the stairs. And because I love free healing, even though I haven't fought anything, we're going to get some more free healing. The gate has been obliterated, basically. So, oh, excuse me. I guess that's how they would, they justify that they didn't need the metal. They, instead of opening the gate, they destroyed the gate. But they're not particularly clear on, like, if that was magically sealed or what the hell they did. I don't know. But anyway, it's open now. There's nothing we can do about it. And that's about it. It's interesting that they use the term bringer of ruin because of what we've heard before. And I like the fact that he uses the term bringer of ruin, and the other person who we've heard talk about the bringer of ruin a lot, Merrick, instantly like, wait a minute. I smell Ducky. No one's going to get that reference. No one's going to get that reference, but... oh, well. It is... I found him at last. Ruinbringer, Demon Man, I found him, and with my teeth I shall tear his throat. That's my best impression of Merrick. Basically, someone put on a growly voice for doing the voice acting for his character in this game. I'm not sure who it is, but they seem to add that little growl in there. Which, for a Demon Man, makes sense. If you do talk to Minori one final time, he's lived long. His body's old, it's fading away, but his spirit is eternal. And that's it. He dies. I'm not sure if he lives if you don't talk to him, but it's not particularly important in the long term. But it's got to be hard on poor Roan, who basically, I got home and my father is basically going crazy and opening pure evil. At least that's what we see, or presume. Unfortunately, I wish they gave us a better view of it instead of just showing some spinning stuff and then saying we're inside a machine. If they had shown some more components, then it would have made a little more sense. I also don't understand how people in this timeline could understand machines to like the extent that they're implying here. But I don't know, maybe it's because they had the engineering town, and so they create machines to run the pulley system that didn't really work all that well to get us across the granite cliffs, but I don't know. It's a little anachronistic. Gotta take it apart before it's too late. Now this area, and most areas, are confusing, especially going forward. So, hello. We have new enemies. Okay, these guys, Skull Snail. There are a number of enemies around here that are either strong or weak to fire or earth elemental attacks. So when you are fighting enemies, you'll either want to use one or the other. If you're fighting, say, two different groups of enemies, one that's weak to one that's weak to the other, use Roan and use Explosion and then just knock them out in one shot. So the Skull Snails are weak to fire. They are strong against ice and earth elemental. So let's take a look here. Thing is, those guys are weak against earth, or I think they're strong against fire and normal against earth, but Ryudo, Millennia, and Roan can one-shot most enemies if they're exploiting a weakness or not fighting against something strong against them, so if you're wondering. These guys can drop something. I don't recall what it is.
Check this out.
Maybe I'll get one here? Maybe? Is that what I think it is? Or is that crap? It's a bone heart, that's crap. Okay, they don't drop anything special. It's somebody else I was thinking of. Okay. So, we can't go that way, so we gotta turn this way. There aren't too... like, there's a lot of twists and turns in this area. But there aren't really, like, there's not, like, a big problem with it. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. These guys aren't really much to worry about. A burn flame from anybody takes them out. They fall down. Very short fights. As long as you get somebody in on the first go that can actually deal damage to them. Now over here, we have some money. And over here, we have an Ice Fang Stone, which I don't care about. There's another bag of money over there. We can't get that until we go around. And we have another new enemy over here. These guys drop something interesting. Of course, none of these ones will, but these are Warp Warriors. That's kind of a theme of this area. Warp, there's an enemy and an item. But anyway, these guys are weak to Earth. They're kind of strong against fire, but it's not like going to do like 200-300 damage. It'll do about 1,000 with Roan, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And I said there was Earth, right? Read my notes. Yeah, so Earth. So Earth will one-shot them pretty easily.
You can
fire,
really feel it.
I think Millennia with her added strength or added intelligence can one-shot them with a fire spell. But
oh, that was a breeze.
I don't think Roan can, because his stat's not that high. At least the way I have my characters built. And there's nothing in that hole. And yeah, that thing pushes out steam. Doesn't matter how. Now we finally get something worthy, I believe, of switching with Roan. Since I've given him the warp knife, he's basically been using that ever since. But this is 20 better, and it drains a little bit of HP. Not that he does enough to really worry about it, but it's there. So two enemies like that with differing strengths, use Boom on them instead, an explosion type spell, since it's not something you're going to have to deal with. It'll do enough damage to both of them to take them out. This is that bag of money I mentioned before. We finally got access to that. So head down here. And here's a switch here. We can activate that, which will roll those out. It doesn't block anything off, so don't worry about that. It just allows us to go forward. Over here, we can get some gold, fight another enemy, and I believe, is that it for this area? Yes. Okay, so let's head up the stairs. I do want to make it to the end of this part of the area, just because this area can appear very, very confusing if you're not well organized. Anyway. The reason for that strange cut and the half-completed sentence in the middle of battle is because the Warp Warriors there drop the Dark Ring, which is an interesting item that I have no use for, but it's there. Negates damage under 100, which I guess is useful if you get hit a lot by weak damage, if you have high defense or something, but I've never found a value for you equipping it ever, because I just don't get hit very much. Like, since we got in here, these are my HP totals. I've barely been hit, so I don't really see the need. I use more MP and SP than I do get my HP taken down because I'm always dealing damage and because I get preemptive strikes. That doesn't to say that the dark rings that we get from those guys are worthless. We can sell them and make some money. I got another one there. So that should be all for that one. That leads us to plant part 2. And if you take a look, yeah, it looks super confusing. It's not. There are only 4 different forks in the road. Everything else is just follow the path. There's nothing over there, and that's back where we came from. So it really isn't all that difficult to figure out. I will go over all of those when we start up the next one. But yeah, until then, that's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.